Okay, phone says we're online. Hello guys, just to keep going with the series we're having, a lot of the questions we're generally having is about losing weight, toning up, making little tweaks to the diet. Now we did speak a lot in the last couple of weeks about calories. Calories are important, but at the same time I don't expect everyone to have to weigh out their food and measure with perfect calculation every single time. It's not going to work. At the same time, if you're not losing weight and you want to, or if you're trying to tone up and you're looking to alter your diet a little bit, you need to change something. So one of the things we're going to have a think about today, we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to give some suggestions on how you can change it. I suppose how you eat food socially is a large part of this. What happens with a lot of people is they'll do great on their Monday to Friday, they'll do great with their diet, that'll be super, and everything will be fairly consistent. Then you go out with friends. Obviously you want to be able to eat with your friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just need to accommodate a bit of it in the rest of your day. And it is again about the average. And another thing that people don't seem to have a great handle on is visually how much food should you eat, or just how you should feel food-wise going through the day. A lot of us grew up with the structure: big huge dinner, big lunch, big dinner, and a supper. That was the old school way of eating. You see so many people that they go out at lunch, they go down the Carvery at lunchtime, and at 1 o'clock they're going to have a big dinner. And then when they get home in the evening, they're going to have another dinner. There's an issue with that. That was the kind of food style you would follow 50 years ago. That's what your mother, your grandmother used to, or your father or your grandfather used to eat. They'd have a big dinner, they'd have a big lunch, they'd have a large dinner, they'd have a smaller dinner and a supper. They had a lot of food in the day. They also did a lot of work. Those people were out in the field, they were pulling, they were dragging, they were menial jobs, they were factory jobs. Nowadays people are sitting at a desk. And the reality is, you don't use as many calories sitting at a desk. Okay, so if one of the things you're doing is you're having a very large lunch and you're having a very large dinner, not that both of those have to go, but ideally you'd change one of them. Now, which ones you change? Usually the easiest thing to change is the thing that involves least people, and that's what we're going to call the social eating. Great example of a guy who came here not so long ago. Young family, 2 young kids, and his wife was home on maternity leave as well. He'd come home in the evening, and I'm not going to use swear words. It was not ideal food situation. There was always ice creams and chocolates and pizza and all the fun stuff. Okay, so we kind of took a slightly different approach. We said to him, you can't control that. Let's leave that on the shelf. That was, we'll call it 40% of his week, every weekend and the weekends, possibly more. However, there's no reason why that gentleman couldn't have nailed down and got better his breakfast and his lunch, which is what he did. He had been eating sandwiches and rolls every lunchtime, and the sandwich and the roll, we talked about the mayonnaise and the butter last week, can be really deceptive. You get one of those rolls in the deli, and if you don't know exactly what's going in it, and even if you do, it can have the same or more calories as the normal dinner you'd make at home with no butter and no oil. And you just think it's a small sandwich, but there's crazy calories in it. Then you have a packet of crisps to go along with it. Sometimes you're eating out of boredom, sometimes it's just something quick to go. If we can control that bit, if you can control your 9 to 5, that's almost half your week sorted already. Okay, so what we did for that guy is we helped him to give him a couple of nice breakfast choices and give him a couple of lunch choices. The weight started piling off, and he didn't even notice the difference because he was still getting all the crap he wanted in the evening. Now, that's not going to work for everybody. However, it's a really nice step, because if you genuinely don't know what to do, and you don't know, I'm not going to count calories, you're not going to calculate everything, that's one thing you can do, is pick 2 or 3 breakfasts and figure out something you can repeat and start using those. The next week you can start putting lunches. that's going to be so many out of the 24 meals in your week. You're taking care of 14 of them. What's wrong with that? And you can do the same thing as well if you find you're always going out at the weekend and it's a complete debauchery the whole weekend through. Maybe just make it a point that Sunday morning I'm going to have a good breakfast, and you can plan that Friday night. You can be like, this is what I'm going to eat. The same with Saturday morning. It's a little step, but it could start the wheels rolling. So that's kind of what we're going to ask you to think about this week. And please put comments down below. Like, are there situations where you find you're eating stuff for what is really no good reason? You know, because you're bored, even when you're at work or something like that. Are there any situations that you think you could control your food and you're still not going to look like a dry person in front of everyone around you? It's something to think about, because when you're out with someone and they're eating the big dinner and somehow they don't seem to be putting on weight, you might think that's unfair, but the reality is that person somewhere else is not eating that dinner, is doing more exercise or something of that ilk. You haven't followed that person for a week straight. So you just need to find the little pieces that you can change that are going to help you to get to where you want to go. Okay? We'll leave it at that for today, guys. Please give us a comment. I don't know if it comes down here on the mobile or if it comes this side on the web. Give us a comment or a message if there's any suggestions you have or any questions you have about that. And don't be afraid to like the page, share the post. Thanks very much, guys.